Hello, guys. I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran. I'm here with Yanzi, and today is the day we are going over Rob Liefeld, John Malin, Rob Liefeld, talking back about woke comics. Now, this is starting to happen, and this is interesting. Of course, this is coming off the heels of Mark Miller defending a comic book retailer not liking self-inserts in comics and a lot of stuff. A lot of people came out. Donnie Cates came out making fun, dunking. A lot of other SJW comic creators kind of making fun of the appearances of the comic book retailer. All of this stuff. We're seeing a lot of movement on Twitter right now. A lot of comic book pros have got their nose bent out of shape. What we are seeing now is Rob Liefeld, Image founder, actually talking about woke comics. Now, this is interesting to me because I think people are going to start picking sides and people are going to start becoming more vocal about this. And it's going to be interesting who's actually picking what side. Now, obviously, people that came from the what I call the meritocracy cut of comics, when comics were selling, you remember that. Of course, they're going to start speaking against hiring people other than meritocracy. So let's get into it.
Rob Liefeld here today tweets, "Look, what comic book Twitter is absolutely a thing. The sites, podcasts, personalities, they all sing the same tune. Avoid them as much as possible, and they have zero solutions." So, in reference to all these attacks on Glenn over here, see, the woke side of comic Twitter really want to frame him as being an Islamophobic, racist, misogynistic, whatever guy. But here's the thing. The only thing Glenn explicitly said was, "I'm against self-inserts." They start trying to put all these other talking points into his mouth when they talk about him, saying, "Oh, he's against diversity, he's against woke agenda, blah, blah, blah." It's like, no, Glenn never said a single thing about that. He's just against self-inserts. So what Rob is basically saying over here is that, yeah, what these guys over here, all they're doing is doing this thing called name calling or cancel pigging, or whatever you want to call it these days. All they want to do is get their side of the story out, and that is, yeah, whoever doesn't agree with us, that is the phobic racist. So someone, of course, straight away tries to do a slam dunk on Rob and said, "Sir, your most popular character is pansexual." Rob says, "And so?" Adam Miller here, one of the guys in Comics here, has a very good response, and that is, it's not all about sexuality. It's all about story and character. So let me give you guys an example. Recently, Tim Drake came out as bisexual. When Tim Drake first appeared in the comic book, he was introduced as the boy who discovered Batman's secret identity. Now he's being introduced as the bisexual Robin. Think for a moment, guys. Which one has more storytelling potential? Which one would people say, "Yeah, I'm more interested in that"? It's like, when you want to focus on a character's sexuality, it sounds like you're going to tell sex-related stories. You know what I mean? So it should really be just a sideline. It's kind of like saying, "Oh, this character is straight," or "This character has a family." It's all part and parcel of their superhero life. It's not the main focus of their superhero storylines or whatsoever. And that seems to be the thing that modern writers are really forgetting, which I understand why Glenn is a bit frustrated. He's like, "You guys are all just focused on drinking tea in the coffee shops and talking about your feelings and doing social media. Your characters in the comic are doing social mediaing. Why are you doing all this?" Rob goes on to say, "Here's the thing I keep coming back to with modern comics. There are standards, practices in regards to superhero comics. They are time-tested and audience approved, but largely absent in today's market. Weird." So I'm pretty sure Rob is not referring to anything like Comics Co-Authority or anything like that, but he is talking about what were the kind of stories that resonated with people. What were the kind of stories that made people say, "Boy, oh boy, I can't wait till it's Wednesday and I'm going to go run down to a comic shop and pick up my stuff"? And unfortunately, that seems to be largely missing. We're hearing from more and more retailers saying, "Yeah, I don't even order modern books anymore." In fact, in our town recently, a shop just opened up selling nothing but back issues. Wow.
Yeah, it's really easy to open up a new comic book shop today. I want to speak about that. As long as you're not ordering new books, as long as you're not having to qualify, as long as you know the material. And right now, if you're buying a Green Lantern comic, I'm talking to you, Tim Sheridan. It might be just to spite Comicsgate, and it might be all about him being gay, and you may not even know what antagonist he's going to fight, what heroic deeds he's going to do, and you're expected to sell that. Now, if you sell in back issues, you understand that. You can Google what the content is. If you haven't read it, there is already built-in value on those back issues, and people like to trade them and whatnot. It's really dicey right now to open a comic shop or sell anything like that.
And of course, people want to continue to dunk on Rob and say, "Oh, Rob, you're just such a has-been, blah, blah, blah." So Rob corrects the record by saying, "If you're talking to me like I'm a random cover artist, Brooks, allow me to point out 1,000 pages of interior art the past 10 years. You can check out Bloodstrike, Deadpool, Snake Eyes, Major X, X-Force, or The Shield for receipts in over 350 covers." That's just the past 10 years alone. Rob Liefeld's output is astounding. For someone who has been in the industry for what, close to 40 years maybe? This is
And was
amazing.
one of the co-founders of one of the largest independent comic creator initiatives in our history.
I don't know. I just feel that people appreciate the work that has been laid out before them. They don't realize that the characters that they get to play with were built on the foundations that guys like Rob Liefeld built. And they're just thinking, well, I got all the toys in the box now. Let me just break them and reboot them like Max Bisaggio does. I'm just going to bisexual, trans, whatever, all these characters, because it's all about me, me, me.
And I want to add to that point right now, like Image Comics has a union, a company he co-founded, a union made up by people who aren't even comic book creators. So this is how much things have changed in the American comic book industry. And of course, change is going to happen over time. But are these changes for the better? That's where we're at. And of course, people are going to try to diminish Rob Liefeld because of his opinion. They're going to try to say, he's just a cover artist. He's a has-been. These are the things people like to say, especially against people in CG or people that have an opposing opinion.
If Rob does not move the needle, if Rob does not sell any books, why would they give him the equivalent of what, 4 or 5 issues a year for the past 10 years? Why? I mean, does the comic book industry like to lose money? No, of course not. So when people like this who are chosen by the comic industry to actually produce books for them and have a track record running back decades, maybe they're worth listening to.
I'll leave it on this. If Rob's value and what he's contributed to the comic market, Deadpool 3 is the only Marvel movie coming out to theaters, from my understanding, in 2024. It's the one thing they know they can sell, and that's Deadpool. Deadpool sells. One of the more popular pop culture characters, that the newest pop culture character that is sustaining some sort of energy right now. And of course, we're not making Deadpool bisexual or pansexual or any of those things to sell books. Sell him because it's a good character. You guys will hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification. Let me know below, what creators do you think are going to come out on the right side of this. And also, please check out Axcend. $103,000, $299. We're taking pre-orders still, so if you guys have not checked it out, please consider clicking on the link down below. There's a couple of books, great stuff in this campaign. Also, we'll leave you guys with an awesome trailer for Axcend Level Up.
I dream of a world carefully crafted, beautifully flawed. This is Axcend. In this game of life, there is one thing that determines a victor. A player's ability to grow. A player's ability to evolve. A player's ability to survive. My name is Dog. Choose to play. Choose to upgrade. Choose to level up. Choose to Axcend.